Yo, how's it going, guys? It is I, Williams F2008, aka Motorsport and F1 fan page, here on the YouTube channel. And in today's video, we are going to be doing a comparison video where we are going to be comparing two Formula 1 models. The first one being the freshly brand new and lately unboxed Mercedes W07 Hybrid from 2016, driven by Nico Rosberg, championship winning car from Bburago. And on this side, we have a model which you guys haven't seen before, the Ferrari F2008, driven by Kimi Raikkonen and Felipe Massa. And this one is manufactured by Shell. That's right. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be comparing these two models and see how much better perhaps the models could have gotten, or maybe worse. So for fuck's sake, someone's fucking manufacturing doing something anyway. So we're going to go ahead and see multiple categories, but before we get started, let me just explain a few things. So first of all, actually this model here is bigger because this is a 138 sized model. This one is a 143, so this one's actually bigger a little bit, by a few inches perhaps. This one, of course, from 2008, so the car models were much different back then. We didn't have hybrid V6s, we had proper petrol V8s. Sorry about my throat, it's really annoying me right now. But anyway, so this one's driven by Kimi Raikkonen, who was of course at the time the reigning world champion. So yeah, let's go ahead and compare them. But one of the things I would just quickly point out to you guys is, before any of you get confused, this is a championship winning car. It didn't win in drivers in 2008, but the constructors winning car was the Ferrari. We all know what happened for the driver standings, so I'm not going to really get into that. In case you don't know, basically it was Massa versus Hamilton, and then some dramas happened on the final corner pretty much. So if you don't know this, so just check it out on YouTube. But anyway, so let's start comparing. So the first thing we are going to be comparing is going to be the tires. So of course, different generation means different tire manufacturers. So let's start from the older one. So here we have the 2008 model right here, and of course back then we used Bridgestones, Potenzas. So here we have them, pretty much the same on both sides, nothing special. So as for the feel, this feels like proper rubber. It is made of proper rubber. I think the way they put the Bridgestone logo and everything is very detailed here. And they've done a good job with even the detail here when they even put the cuts in the tire. I think that's really good way to make it. It feels, like I said, really rubbery, and it actually feels like a tire, like a mini tire. So it feels like they cut a part of a tire out, just put it on this one. So as to the rims, not bad. So yeah. Then as for this one, obviously here we had Pirelli by now, so different tire manufacturers, because yeah, as time went on, in 2011 the FI decided that from now on Pirelli will be the tire manufacturers. I miss Bridgestone, to be honest, but anyway, so let's take a look. Obviously this is the soft compound of Pirelli tire, of course the exact same set Rosberg won a championship in. And as for the material, it does feel like rubber, but it feels like a plasticky type of rubber, if you know what I mean. This one feels much more like rubber. This one feels more of a plasticky type of rubber. So for the material wise, I would say this one's better. But however, as for the detail, for example, like on the rim here, they even, have this little hole here. I'd say detail wise, the rim. So overall the tire detail is better. However, this one feels more like a tire. So yeah, so as you can see here, the rims are quite different, because on this one it's just painted on there, there's nothing else, whereas this one's actually curved in. So yeah, so as for the tires then, so that was the first thing we compared. So as for the tires, I'm going to call it a tie. So the reason why is because overall, of course, we try to see which one's more realistic. In my opinion, for detail, this one's more detailed, so more realistic. However, when you feel the tire, it feels much more like actual rubber, which you have on actual tires. So yeah, I think this one's more realistic. And by the way, I forgot to mention, this one is made by Shell, so this one's made by Bburago Shell. So let's move on to the next thing. Alright, so the next thing we're going to be going ahead and comparing is the rear wings. So obviously, every detail of the car is important. However, the rear wing is always one which is quite hard to get right sometimes. So let's start with the Bburago version this time. So obviously the rear wing is smaller because it's a different era of cars. And also this one has the DRS system. The 2008 one there doesn't, because DRS was introduced in 2011. So before then it was just pure racing with no DRS or any of that crap. So yeah, here we just so the rear wing is quite small, but it's very detailed once again with the Petronas painting there and with the Epson sponsor logo. Let me just. There's also a bit of gravings here in the rear wing. I'm not sure how well you can see because the lighting's quite crap here, but anyway, it's very detailed once again. It looks just like the exact actual Mercedes one. Maybe the size, perhaps, I'm not sure. I think maybe the size isn't the most realistic, but then again, I haven't seen 2016 cars in a while, so I might be forgetting what they're like compared to the current ones. So yeah, very detailed in my opinion. However, the only thing that is somewhat disappointing is that the structure of it is not very strong. So obviously it's not easy to break these things. However, if either one of these two was to break, I said this one would break faster because yeah, it's not made as well. So as for this one then, obviously this one's different. Obviously back then the rear wings were wider and no DRS, like I said, which is why the rear wings are much different. So yeah. So I think both of them are very detailed. This one obviously has more sponsors though, because that one only had Epson and Petronas. This one has Alice, AMD, Bridgestone, V-Power, and all that. And here we have Etihad Airways, obviously, which is Ferrari's sponsor for a while, which is in Abu Dhabi. For the detail, I'd say both of them are very detailed. However, the structure of this rear wing is much, much stronger, so I think this one's almost impossible to break off. So, personally, I would say the one which is easier to break would be this one here, the Bburago version, because it's just got a weaker structure. I can't really explain it any better. This one's made much stronger, so for the rear wing, I say this one's the better one. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, so the next one we're going to be moving on will be the front wings. So, once again, different generation, so pretty much things were different back then. So obviously back in 2008 we had much smaller front wings, as you can see, and of course the nose part was actually in front and the rear wing and the front wing was a bit further back. Here on the Mercedes, as you can see, the nose is, compared to the front wing, the nose is a bit behind. So, and of course the front wing looks different. So let's go ahead and compare them. Let's start with the Ferrari, I'd say. So my camera's being a bitch again. This happened in the last video. I was getting quite annoyed with that, but anyway, here we go, so it's focused. So very detailed, as you can see. They even added the sponsors. Oh, sorry, my camera's being a bitch. They even added the V-Power sponsor here on the very front of the rear wing, just like the rest of it. But so and then on the sides it just has Alice on it. Oh, whoops, I dropped it. Then actually there's a bit of detail here. You guys probably can't see that. It's the Etihad Airways logo right here at the very back. You can't really see it because my camera's not focusing and it's just very tiny writing. But I'd say it's been very detailed with the sponsors, so I think they've done a good job on that. As for what it looks like compared to the real one, I'd say it pretty much looks the same, because I've seen the real 2008 car in Silverstone once. So yeah, let's take a look at the Mercedes one. So I'd say the the front wing looks a bit more realistic. However, it's not as detailed as the Ferrari one, because this one has the sponsors, very detailed. Of course, Mercedes does have less sponsors, but still. I'm pretty sure in real life they had the Epson logo here on the front wing, so yeah. I say it's very realistic with like all these aerodynamical parts here. Looks very identical to the real one. But, you know, like I said, I think it lacks a bit of detail, so. Alright, so that's that for the front wing comparison. So, alright, let's move on to the next one. Alright, so the next thing we're going to be comparing, and that will be the last thing as well, we're going to be comparing how realistic the livery is. So we compared the tires, front wing and rear wing. I think it's only right that we compare the liveries for the last one. So let's start with the Ferrari. So obviously the livery is quite realistic. Of course it probably looks different now because some of the liveries or sponsors have been taken off from the current cars. So I think overall the sponsors are very good. Stickers are really high quality. Of course they're smaller, so they could look somewhat, you know, a worse quality compared to this one, but I think the quality of the stickers and like the paint sponsors, I think they're equal. So sides, of course, we have the Shell logo, the Ferrari logo. We have Acer here. Sorry about my camera. I really don't know why it's doing this to me, but it's really getting on my nerves in my opinion, but oh, come on, you piece of shit. Alright, there we go. Sorry for the swearing, by the way. I just get angry a bit sometimes. Sometimes, okay. Anyway, so here we have the two stripes. I'm pretty sure in 2007, you were no longer allowed to advertise cigarettes and all that, so I'm pretty sure they took the Marlboro off. I already went through this part when I looked at the rear wing. Nothing different on both sides. And then here in the front just has the number 1 on it because this is Raikkonen, by the way, in case you haven't noticed. And obviously, like I already mentioned, he was the reigning world champion at the time. So he had the number 1 on his car. Shell, Allison and Bridgestone, Fiat, and then a really tiny Ferrari logo, which you can't really see. So let's move on to the Mercedes then. Alright then, so let's look at the Mercedes. Of course, we already looked at the the livery on the unboxing video, so not as much detail as on the Ferrari one, but like I said, the Ferrari has more sponsors than the Mercedes. So here we see the Petronas logo, then the Mercedes logo itself, and it says Mercedes AMG Hybrid next to the logo, just AMG Hybrid. Then we have Epson, and then Petronas right here. Then we also have Petronas again. Petronas is the main sponsor, so. And then the other sponsor we can really see here at the front, which is Quantum, Pirelli, Centum, Petronas again, then just Mercedes. So not really too much to go for on the Mercedes one because there's not really that many sponsors. So I think that's pretty much it for the comparison video. So to end of this video, in my opinion, it's a tie because in a way the Mercedes is more realistic and, you know, is more detailed. However, you know, let's not forget the fact that this was made in a different generation, so I think this one's also very detailed and very well made. The structure of the car is stronger for the Mercedes because it's made of metal. This one is plastic, so, but I still think they're both just as good because they both look really realistic to the actual cars. At the end of the video, I will show you guys a picture comparing the two of them to the real things. So, yeah, pretty good. And just one more thing to end of this video. So the Bburago car is just made to be a model. This one's not just a model. This one's a toy as well. So if you wind it back. Yes, as you can see, the car can actually go off into the distance. So, yeah. Thank you for watching, and until the next video, see you later. Bye. Oh, for fuck's sake. Alright, bye.
del faro di questo David.